Hello and welcome to the City Commissioners Report. I am Jill Fraley, filling in for Homer Owens today with City Commissioner Jimmy Carter. Hello, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit different filling in for Homer, so thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for filling in. And although I know Homer's under the weather a little bit,
Yeah, he is.
you're a lot better looking than he is.
Well, thanks. Now, he may not agree with that.
Well, I understand.
But we do wish Homer a
Yes.
speedy recovery. But we're going to talk a lot about some really great things happening in our community today. Some things that have gone on at the commissioners meeting, some things that have gone on, like the Nightmare on Main Street that we just had that was fantastic. And so that's where I want to start today. Let's talk a little bit about the great, huge, fun event that is Nightmare on Main, held just recently at the Expo Center.
I'll tell you, Jill, it was probably the biggest event we've had there for Nightmare on Main in its 3 years that we've been doing it. Of course, everyone realizes that Nightmare on Main is a safe trick-or-treat. The local businesses come into the Expo Center on the floor, put up booths, and around the mezzanine of the second floor. And I think the last I heard was over 100 businesses have participated, which was phenomenal.
That's probably the most that we've seen so far in the 3 years.
Absolutely, and the response was overwhelming. I couldn't believe if you could get tired of passing out candy. For 2 hours, try it nonstop for 2 hours. But it was a great thing.
The great thing is about Nightmare on Main, you mentioned it is a safe trick or treat and it's free to the public, open to anyone in our area that wants to come, bring their children. Not only fun for the kids, but fun for the parents and the adults as well.
There's just many adults dressed up with some great costumes than some of the kids.
And yourself as well.
Well, yeah.
Well, the great thing about it was there were several different booths around the area, or around the floor there, that had themes. Most of the businesses have themes, but all of you, along with the commissioners and city manager and a lot of employees, were dressed up like zombies. You know, a little bit different. So that was a lot of fun for the kids to see too. But, you know, you had booths for picture taking with different characters, and to see the smiles on those kids' faces, I mean, you just don't get tired of that.
No, and to be honest with you, I have been to the two before, but I hadn't really stayed for the whole thing. I was in and out doing different things, and we all decided as a group we were going to do it as a group. And watching the line just continue to come in. At one time I looked at the expo floor, and of course the chairs, the seats are pushed back, and it's a lot bigger down there. And it was literally elbow to elbow. You couldn't move. I mean, it was just amazing.
I was down there probably an hour prior to the doors opening. We did some other things with the radio station, and when I left right at 6 o'clock, the doors were getting ready to open, and they were from the Main Street entrance all the way around the block down to the bypass, waiting to get in. And that was just at 6 o'clock, and then as I drove down Hambly, it was like an exodus toward the Expo Center, you know, people bringing their kids. But what a wonderful event that the city of Pikeville, you know, takes part in to make sure that the kids are safe and have a great Halloween.
Jesse Bowling and Sean Cochran, they're really the ones that head this thing up. And, of course, they have a lot of other help from the other city employees. But I'm telling you, you just don't throw this stuff together overnight. It takes a whole year process. It's just like Hillbilly Days and all these other events that we do. It doesn't happen like this week was, okay, next week we're going to do it. Let's do it. It takes months and months of preparation.
And I would say planning stages are already in place for next year.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee
Trying to improve it.
Well, a lot of kids, you know, obviously came to that. And the commission right now is working diligently with a project called Generation Y Project. And that's where you're involving some high school students from Pikeville High School and really listening to what their needs are and how they think our city needs to prosper and what things need to be put on the books for years to come. Talk a little bit about that project.
Jill, this is a very exciting project, and we asked Donovan to go out and see what we could do to put this together. There's some school systems meeting with other government agencies throughout the state, 2 or 3 that are doing this, mostly out west. And what it is getting the juniors and seniors at the high school, which will be Pikeville High School here, to get involved with government. As you know, we're starting our new comprehensive plan, and it's a 10-year plan. So when I got on the commission 9 years ago, we just had started that last comprehensive plan, and we've pretty much worked through it. Now we're doing a new one. So the thought is you get these juniors and seniors involved, and what we're going to do is ask them to help us with our comprehensive plan. Things that they think needs to happen in this town, and things that it's important to them. It works 2 ways here. Once you do that, you're going to give them a piece of the pie, so to speak, or some skin in the game. And in 10 years, how old are those kids going to be? 27, 28. They're going to be the leaders, the future leaders that's coming on.
Opening businesses of their own.
Exactly. So we want their input now to see what because we have that, I won't say disparity in ages, but it's just the age differences throughout the city government. It's just different ages. So we want their input because in 8 to 10 years, they're the ones that's going to be coming back here and either staying here and going to school or going away to school and coming back and opening businesses and being the professionals that we need here.
Well, I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I applaud your efforts because, as I told Donovan, if you want brutal honesty, ask a child or ask a teenager,
Yes.
and they will tell you. But the great thing is that our city government is open-minded enough to know that that's where the ideas are going to come from and that they are the future of our city.
Right, and that's where it starts from, and we have to get, and during this comprehensive plan, it's not that we're just going to take their ideas and then just what ours are.
Right.
We go around the whole town, the whole city, and we talk to the business people, we talk to the university, we'll talk to the hospital on things that they see that we need to do to improve. With our last comprehensive plan, I think the last thing we looked at was of all those items that were on that for 10-year growth, we completed over 96, 97% of them, which I think is tremendous.
It is.
So we're looking to have that same kind of effect on the next 10 years.
Now, this group of students has already been selected.
My understanding, they have been selected, and the first meeting has been slated for November 1st, I think at 3:30 at City Hall. So I think it's going to be an exciting time to start getting their input and ideas on what direction that we need to go.
Speaking of City Hall, you recently at the commission meeting honored some groups from Pikeville High School.
Yes, it was a great honor to honor the boys and girls soccer team at Pikeville High School. The girls ended up being runners-up in the 15th region, and the boys champions of the 15th region. It's still going. They play this Saturday in the second round, the Sweet 16, or the Lead 8 rather. I'm sorry,
right,
the Lead 8. So. It's an exciting time for PHS soccer in Pikeville right now.
Certainly is. Wish them all the best. Let's talk about a couple projects quickly. Okay. Foxcroft.
Foxcroft, sewer addition there. I think we're ready to go to bid on that, and hopefully middle of next month we'll be ready to start some work there to help those folks. I think we're like at 98, 99% sewered in Pikeville with the sanitary sewer. So we hope that doing this, and the rest of them are really isolated 1 and 2 houses. That's really difficult to spend a great amount of money to get to them, which, I mean, they're in compliance with everything, but we want to get everybody, sanitary sewer, so just as soon as we can do that, we will. But Foxcroft was the last big piece of the puzzle, and we're about to get them completed.
Almost there. Almost. Okay. And what about Peach Orchard?
Well, we're doing a stormwater separation project up there, and I know this is not exciting stuff, but it's stuff that we need.
It's so important,
It's
though.
very important because the reason being is we were mandated by the state. We have stormwater, which is the water that comes off of the streets when it rains, was going into the storm sewers that was going into the sewer plant. Years ago, the state said that was okay. We wanted that to happen to help push things along, as you might want to say.
Right.
But now they're saying no, so we have to go back and unhook all that. So we have to dig the streets up and do all that. So the last big piece of the puzzle there is Peach Orchard. UMG has done a great job in the past 5-6 years to go through Main Street, all the subdivisions downtown to get all those pulled off and back to where they need to go into the pond.
I travel Peach Orchard every day, and we're excited about those projects. About how long do we think that will take?
That's going to be about a 6-month project, I think, before, and it shouldn't take that long, so hopefully we're not going to be tearing up the roads too bad. And
But the great thing about UMG and how everybody works together, when the roads get torn up, though, it is still so accessible.
Yeah.
It's not going to be much of a problem.
No, they do a great job of making sure the traffic flows and keep it going. As you can tell, with all the projects we've had going downtown this year, streets have been torn up numerous times, but they always find a way to detour and make sure the traffic still flows.
And you really don't see any problems, and that's the great thing about it, is that we have had so much, like you said, so much construction and still construction going on right now, and there really isn't any downtime that I've seen so far, and I travel the streets regularly.
Oh, no, it's gone very smoothly, considering how massive these projects were, with the university, the hospital, and all these big trucks coming into town, and the new judicial center and all that. I mean, it's just amazing that we just haven't had a big gridlock, but everybody's worked well together to make sure the traffic still flows.
When organization is in place, things do flow well.
They do.
They do. We are going to have a guest join us just a little bit shortly. Carolyn Tackett's going to join us from the Pikeville Senior Citizen Center. We're going to get her in here, get her a seat, and we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk to Carolyn, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Pikeville and Pike County Tourism invite you to scenic Pike County, where history lives. Enjoy a tour of the famous Hatfield and McCoy feud sites in downtown Pikeville.
Treat yourself to an adventure on the Hatfield and McCoy River Trails, a Kentucky Blue Water Trail. Affordable rentals of kayaks, canoes, and tubes are available.
Have your own kayak? We'll pick you up and drop you off for your trip down the river. Pikeville offers comfortable accommodations, exciting attractions, and great restaurants. Make Pikeville your home away from home. Visit and enjoy wonderful attractions like the Breaks Interstate Resort Park, Jenny Wiley State Park, the Hatfield McCoy ATV trails, and so much more, all within 30 minutes of downtown Pikeville. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website today at www.visitpikeville.com or tourpikecounty.com. Discover Pike County. Welcome back to the City Commissioner's Report. I'm here along with Jimmy Carter, and we've talked a lot about some great projects going on in the city of Pikeville and some things that have been happening with the commission. But one person that we wanted to invite today is Carolyn Tackett from the Senior Citizen Center here in Pikeville. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Such a pleasure to have you join us.
It's great to be here.
We are excited about our Senior Citizen Center and want to highlight some of the wonderful programs and projects that you all have in place. But first of all, Jimmy, let's talk to Carolyn about what the Senior Citizen Center actually does for seniors.
Right. We provide a meal for them, a daily meal. We have home deliveries that we take out into the city and the county. I usually do on the average of 320 to 330. That's just home delivery meals a week.
A week.
And then in-house, what we call congregate seating, they come in, they drive in, or we truck them in through the buses. And usually on the average of 4 days a week, you're talking about maybe 115 to 120 meals, a week. And then we do transportation. If they have doctor's appointments that they can't get nobody to take them, some of them don't have families, we provide that. We take them to their doctor's appointment. We sit with them. I have several that I have to take to the cancer center, and they take their chemo. We also do that. We take them grocery shopping. We take them to the bank. We do all kinds of business for them.
Errands.
Yes.
The busy stuff.
A lot of, even to the beauticians, I've got some that likes to have their hair done once a week, and so we do that. And then the ones that drive in, in-house we do like different types of activities. We do crafts, we do quilting, we do sewing, we do different types of bingo. We travel to other centers. Centers comes to visit us. We do overnight stays. We travel out of state. Like in November, we're taking a bus load to Tennessee to see the Christmas lights for 2 nights and 3 days. And then I've had them in Tennessee. We've been to New York City.
Oh my goodness!
Yay!
How fun would that be?
And so there was a group from Marbone that just went back a couple months ago. They went up to Vermont and Maine. And there's 8 centers, and we all take part and help one another. And we do exercises, we do line dancing, we do just about anything you can think of that you would do at home. Cornhole, horseshoe, we have pool tables, we have gospel singing. I had the little Ford girl that came in at the Christmas time, and she sung through Christmas for us, and it was beautiful. She just touched their heart so much. And like today, when I leave here, we're going up to the Mark V. Pikeville Medical Center has invited us up there, and we're doing a Halloween party. And so,
now, are they going to dress up?
Yes.
How fun!
Yes. So I have to, when I go back to the center, I have to put on all my gear so I can go up there,
Jimmy did that earlier this week.
Oh, did you?
Nightmare on Main.
That was great. Yes, it was great.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I have to ask, what are you going as?
A coal miner.
Great.
We had a lot of miners
this
year at Nightmare on Main.
Right.
Well, let's talk. You mentioned all of these programs and all of these different activities that you all do. I know that you want to invite people who may not have ever been to the center before to come in and see maybe some things that they want to participate in. I mean, we were talking about quilting before we came back to continue taping, and I think that's such a lost art.
Yes, it is, because a lot of these elderly women done it all their lives, and like now when we gather together, and the Pikeville Library also helps us with it. Charlene's real good to come in and give us counseling and guide us through some things. They just love it because they'll sit around and they'll quilt and they'll start telling you, this is what I'd done with my mom or my grandmother, this is how it was, and we'll have our coffee and our tea and our snacks, and then it's an all-day thing. And then we also, what we do, we will set up a rack, and we will I call them horses, old-time horses.
Right.
And we quilt, and then we will take chances on that, and then we put it in their little craft fund so that we can do parties for them or take trips or whatever we have to do.
When you mentioned having tea or coffee and it becoming an all-day event, I imagine a lot of your activities are because once you get a group of ladies together or a group of men together or mix them all up,
Right.
you know, just the time that they can spend and talk with one another and just the
Yes.
conversation. You know, if
Yes.
you live alone and then you come to the center and you have that camaraderie, it really pays off in a therapeutic way.
Yeah, because you've got some seniors that will come in, like my mother example. She will come in and I can get her to come 2 days a week, but it's like she's real shy and backwards, and so she socializes. And then we'll pull out the bingo, something that's kind of quieter for those that, you know, I may have like 6 different tables going, 6 different activities. Then I'll have the pool room full of men back there, out in the pool room. Then there may be some out doing horseshoes.
Right.
And then we take walks through the city park, and they love it. They just love, we'll go as a group, and they love the bears.
Gotta go bear hunting.
They want the bears. And then we'll walk through the city, and then we'll come through the park, and we've had picnics there. And so I try to do a little bit of everything for different seniors, because not, you know, as yourself, I don't like some things maybe that you like.
Right.
And so I have to kind of feel that need, and there's a void there, so I try to work with all of them at the same time.
Well, I know it's very rewarding for you
It
as
is.
well.
It's wonderful. I've worked with aging for like 16 years, and that's where my heart's at.
It's a very special person
Yes,
to do
it
that.
is.
I know my uncle Sam Carter, before he passed,
Right.
loved to go to the senior citizen.
Oh, I'm
thing.
sure.
Oh, yes. And he was wonderful.
He's a great guy, and he wasn't a quiet one, I guarantee you that.
No. No, Sam didn't like for me when I played rook with him. No more, he said.
Competitive.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about how the city is involved with the center, Jimmy.
Well, you know, we try to help them out every year, and as everyone knows, the county is the main funding
Right.
for the senior citizen centers throughout, and we're lucky enough to have one in the city of Pikeville, and we try to help out and with some funding as well as we can, as often as we can. And I think this year's budgeted amount was like $18,000 or $18,500. They came to us back in September, and they were having a little shortfall, and we decided to, and we do usually do that on an installment, I guess, type thing. And we'd already paid give them a little bit of their installment, but we decided to go ahead and give them a full amount, and then the commission also decided that we'd go ahead and do an additional $5,000 to help fund them to get them over the hump until they. And I think you're all waiting on some cold severance to come in to help tide them off for that. So we'll do whatever we can to help them out and keep them going, because it's a big thing for our city. It's for our citizens. And,
Yes.
And those are, you know, and you talked about this at the commission meeting, was, you know, these are some of the people. These are our former leaders,
Yes.
our former business people. And, you know, I won't say they're forgotten, but we need to make sure they're taken care of.
Right.
Well, you know, and right, not to say that they're forgotten, but sometimes it's easy to kind of let it get on the not the back burner, but, you know, just kind of, you know, just they're not in the forefront of our minds, I guess you could say. And it is so important, like you said, for us to have something right in the middle of town where it is easy for them to walk to if they can, but the transportation that the center provides, you know, if they need a ride to get there, you'll go get them.
Right. And we'll go get them, like if we're closed. If they need something, you know, we get in the vans and we go take them. And if they have a doctor's appointment and the center's not open, that's what we're there for. I've been called out in the middle of the night, you know, when I've had seniors that are passing, and I'm there. I have stayed. A matter of fact, with Sam, when Sam passed, I spent the night with him to give his family a break. Because they were still trying to work and sit by his bedside. So I just called him and I said, hey, listen, I'm here. And that's what my job, you know, requires, and I love doing it. And I went and sat with them for one day and one night. And, you know, we just talked about, we pulled out the root cards, and we just do so many different things that a lot of people's not aware of. And if they could just come into the center, and I do a walkthrough with them. I give them a monthly calendar. I give them a monthly menu. And our menus are based on the state. We have to do a nutritionist meal. We don't fry anything. Everything is baked. We add no salt to anything, but we can season it. So it's a good meal, and they get enough of it. and they really enjoy it. And then we have her parties, her Christmas parties or Thanksgiving parties, and then we just splurge,
Well, I was getting ready to ask, Thanksgiving's coming, and
Yes.
Christmas is next, and
Right.
and all of the holidays that I know that they enjoy so much. And like you said, a lot of them don't have families, or their
Right.
families live away from here. So
Right.
so the senior citizens group really does become their extended family, and it's very
Right.
important to them, especially during the holidays.
And if you talk with them, if you come in, they will tell you this is their second home.
Yeah.
And then someone will tell you this is the only home I have because they're have maybe one child and one child has passed. And so I'm there for them, and my staff is there for them, and I love it. When you leave at the end of the day, it's just like you've done something rewarding. You feel like you've done something
Right.
to change someone's life, or to help that person over that hump, or to go in and fill out their papers. We do all that. If they need to go into the bank, fill out papers, I go with them. If they need their checkbook balance and they're having a hard time, balancing their checkbook, that's what I'm there for. And I do all kinds of things with them. And I love it. You just have to be there some days.
I totally understand. I imagine you become very attached. I mean, don't you, Jimmy? Just
Oh, yes.
because I love children, and I love to be around senior citizens. I mean, I learn so much from each one of those groups.
Right.
And you do become attached. I mean, they become part of you.
They have so much knowledge, and
yes.
they just want to be asked about, and that's what I think it's what. Carolyn does a great job, and her staff does a great job of keeping these people active, and I think that's the whole key. I mean,
Yeah.
Keeping them active,
Keeping them
that's
active.
the most important thing.
And I went to the YMCA, and they sent a lady to the YMCA, and they trained me for the Silver Stickers programs. So now the ones that can't afford to go to the Y, they come in, and I have them to come in from Pikeville, and we just sit 2 days a week, and we do the Silver Sneakers with them. And then we do other exercises, and just so many things that go on at the center. And then there's days that they come in and we do storytelling. We just sit around and we tell stories, we read books, and just story time. And they bring their old pictures in.
not to interrupt, but now I like to come down for that and listen to some of those stories.
I
think
would
there's some
too.
good
Oh,
ones.
you should hear some of them. I've got my oldest one is 96 that comes in.
Oh my.
And then the other one is like 90, and she delivered mail, and she on a horseback. And you should hear some of the stories that she told. And she'd have to walk out of that holler to get a horse just to deliver the mail. And it just breaks your heart. But we're just a happy bunch. I mean,
I guarantee it.
I'm hyper-like, and so I've got them trained that way.
Well, like you draw strengths from them, just like we were talking about the
Yes.
stories and the things that you can learn, and their stories of sometimes a simpler time that we probably really need to apply to our daily lives, because it is a different time and everything is so hectic and we all multitask. But
Yes.
sometimes we need to hear those stories of, you don't have to always be that way.
And then as they age, depression is in with anybody. That's when you're aging. And if you're home by yourself, they deal with that. And so we have to deal with that. And I do my best to help them to understand, because everybody's working now. It takes two in the home to work.
Absolutely.
And even the grandkids are working. So they feel like, if they've got somebody to talk with and they can just lay their heart out, and that's where I come into play. And I just say, hey, I close the door and we shut the door. And then, we always have prayer. We always go into prayer. And then we also have Bible studies. And, we just talk just like it was my mom or my dad. That's how I had to treat them. Because what if it was your mom or your dad?
That's exactly right.
You would want them to be good. And that's how I look at it.
They're yours.
They're mine.
That's
right.
Absolutely.
And nobody's going to be mean to them.
Now, do you accept volunteer help at the center?
Yes, I have several volunteers right now, and we can use all we can get. And all they have to do is contact me at the number that's being shown.
And that number will be 432-4250, right?
Yes.
And tell everybody where the center is located.
On 134 Bank Street, directly behind the unemployment office and behind the Sandy Technical College. That's what I Big Sandy. And in a little brown building, you can't miss us because there's like 5 or 6 vans sitting there.
Always.
Ready to go.
Yes.
Well, Carolyn, we certainly have appreciated you stopping by and telling us about the center. Like you said, you're looking for volunteers.
Yes.
You always need help, especially I would think now with
Yes.
Thanksgiving and Christmas
Right.
coming.
Yeah.
They can call you 432-4250. And I'm sure that you could use some help with some day trips, some overnight trips. I would
Yes.
love to learn to quilt. So I wouldn't care to come down one day and maybe sit and
Good.
listen to some stories and like we were talking about, and maybe learn a new craft, because I
Right.
think it's really a lost art, and a lot of crafts that they do are.
Yes. Yes.
And Jimmy, I know that you just want to say on behalf of the city how much you appreciate the center and what it does for our community and our more mature citizens.
Right, and it's a quality of life issue that we
Yes.
continue to talk about, and that definitely is a big part
Yes.
of it.
You know what? One more thing I just thought of. I think it would be great for school kids to be able to come by and visit.
Yeah, we have the Pikeville High School and grade school has come in and sung for us and done different
wonderful.
things with the seniors. We had computer classes with them. They've come in and set up their computers.
That is a wonderful
Yes,
opportunity.
and that way they can talk to their grandkids or their parents away from home.
Yeah. Carolyn, again, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Jimmy,
having me.
Thanks for having me today in
Thank
place
you, Jill.
of Homer.
It's
I
a breath
appreciate
of
it.
fresh air.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, we live in a wonderful city, and we're seeing great things happen. And just thank you both for what you do for each one of your different venues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been the City Commissioners Report. We'll see you next time.